Hey guys, it is a really ugly day outside today. It's going to start storming like any moment, so this video again might look really dark. Before I got into what my plans are for today, I just want to show you real quick what I got. Look what came in the mail. Little bitty notebooks. Look how cute that is. Oh, don't make fun of my nails. I'm about to redo those here soon. They're flaking off. But look how cute. I would absolutely love to have like an entire series of these. I think I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to stay with this company, but I don't really have any plans at all. I just like the idea of stationery products. Having my own stationery products is amazing. I would like to get some larger notebooks and then maybe some other designs, and then maybe soon I can start selling these to people if anybody's interested. These ones I'm already going to give away to somebody, and then I'm going to keep this one for myself. They do have some flaws on them, but look how cute. I'm so excited. All right, but in any case, I am supposed to be doing artwork for World Watercolor Month, and I am supposed to be using the paints from my last video, the Month-Kuretake brand paints. So I have something drawn out. I'm going to show you. So I already have like an illustration. We're going to paint this. I may use, I'm going to primarily use these paints, so it's going to be all pink. But we're going to paint this today. First step that I'm going to do, I think I'm actually going to use some masking fluid and mask him out and just go ahead and paint the background. But that's what our plan is for today. So masking fluid, if you've never used this before, I don't honestly use it all that often because, well, I do a lot of photo editing and post-production anyway, but it is going to help if you, like, say I'm about to do the background on this painting. This is essentially like a protective medium, so you can paint this onto areas that you don't want paint over it, and then when the paint is dry you can like peel it off, and it's masking fluid. It masks off the area that you don't want paint on. Because I've got this over 2 pages, I just don't want him to be covered in the background paint. That I'm going to do with acrylic gouache. I don't think I'm going to coat his entire figure in the masking fluid. Mainly because I erase so many times, I'm afraid actually I'm destroying the paper. And when I start to peel off this masking fluid later, it actually pulls off some of the pencil, and I don't want to lose his facial details. So I think I'm mainly just going to mask off the edges. That way I can just have protection of the borders at least. I did accidentally spill this masking fluid all over the table the other day. I don't recommend doing that. That wasn't fun. This brand, the Pebeo brand masking fluid, if I'm pronouncing that right, it recommends you just soap your brush down before using the masking fluid. So I just washed my brush off with a little bit of some dish soap. And then now I'm going to lay down my masking fluid. And I've got a lot of flowers on here as well, so I'm going to mask those off as well. This does take time to dry, which is another reason why I don't like to use masking fluid that often, because I get impatient. I don't want to wait for it to dry so that I can paint. When I'm in a painting mood, I want to just go ahead and paint. Okay, so I've got this all masked out. My dog might be barking in the background, but I have everything that I don't want paint on all masked out. I'm going to let this dry, and while I'm letting it dry, I'm going to go play a video game, and then I'll come back, and then we'll paint the background. Now that my masking fluid is all dry and it's stopped storming, I'm going to take some light magenta and I'm just going to kind of quickly color in my background. And then once this is all dry, the background anyway, once the background's all dry, then we'll start peeling the masking fluid off. Now that this background is dry, I'm going to go back in and get rid of this masking fluid. Got this weird eraser tool from the dollar store. We're just going to erase this all away. I'm going to leave some of it, like these little flowers here, because I don't want to get watercolor on it when I start actually painting. But get rid of all of this. I added some new masking fluid to a couple of spots just so that I didn't accidentally watercolor it. But now that I have everything like prepped and ready, we're going to begin the watercolor process. Here's my paints from the last video, and this is my old set of Japanese watercolors. Oh shoot, I've got the box on the bottom. I don't know if I can pull it off. Oh, there we go. Look how pretty that is. I got this from Choosing Keeping, which is a company in London, so I had to order this from overseas. But it came with a cute little spring palette, and there's some extra pinks in here that I may need to supplement with my Month-Kuretake brand. But we are going to start dousing this in watercolor. We're going to start with the main first. So I've learned something about these watercolors. So they actually are pulling up little fibers of my paper. So that's interesting. I know that this looks really messy right now. I'm gonna let this dry and see if we can't get around that. It always looks ugly when it's wet anyway, and then you just have to kind of wait and see how the watercolor dries. But yeah, it's this is the Strathmore mixed media paper and tan, and I've never had it like paint pull up the paper before. So anyway, and I've got a dishwasher going now, but this looks a little bit more chill. You can see with these Japanese watercolors, they kind of leave like a film almost, but that's fine. It's not really noticeable other than I have the light shining on it. What I'm going to do now, I already started just lightly putting some pink on his face, so I'm just going to go back in and create some shadows and highlighted areas, and then go in with some of the white. But it looks a lot better than what it did when it was wet. You can sort of start seeing some shape. When I put my line art in, everything will be much clearer and it'll look a little bit more normal. It's a brand new day. I know that this looks really messy, and everything usually looks messy when you are in the process of painting. This paint has done really weird things to this paper. I'm going to do my favorite part of any painting, and that's going to be just to add some white gouache to it, because white always makes everything look a little bit almost like we're completed. So I'm going to start adding in the white details of his face, and he'll start to come alive a little bit better. never panic when you're in the ugly stage. When I get this white on, I'm going to do the black of his lips. And then we'll start adding in the line art and then doing some cleanup to hopefully make this look a little bit more like what I'm used to. You know, I think that there's just something wrong with this paint. I had not complained, but I had mentioned it seemed like the paint was pulling up some of the paper fibers, and I'm doing some damage control right now, but I think it might just be this page. I have no idea, because even I went ahead and I pulled out some more acrylic gouache, but it's the acrylic gouache even it's pulling up fibers. I don't know if maybe it was just because I had erased so much, but I don't know. I had just never had this happen with this sketchbook. Or, well, this sketchbook here is actually relatively new, but my last sketchbook tour that I did was the same brand. It was the Strathmore mixed media paper, and it didn't ever do this. So I have no idea if it's just this page is kind of you know, functified, or if it's just something that I have done. But yeah, I've used Japanese watercolors many times, never had an issue. The colors always laid down really, really nicely and pretty. And this one, I'm just kind of, yeah, doing damage control because I'm just shredding the paper as I go along. You probably can't see it because I've been covering it up with like gouache and then layering like more watercolor and ink on top of it to make the fibers lay back down. So anywho, I don't know. I'm trying to make this look as presentable as I can. I'm trying to lighten things up, so I'm just working on these flowers over here right now. And then we'll go back to my lion friend. I accidentally made him a little bit too skin toned. I really just want pink and pink, but that's okay. In order to counteract some of the darkness, I'm going to go in with colored pencil. This is where colored pencil can come in handy. Y'all, I know this probably looks like I zoomed ahead 30 bajillion hours in the future. I have gotten up and had to do some chores, and I played some video games for a while just to refresh my brain. But all that I did was I went around with lots of colored pencils, oh my gosh, and just re-outlined the outline that I had made in the original sketch. That's all. And then went back around again with some more watercolor to smooth it back out. And now I think I'm going to do the dreaded white Posca pen and highlight all of this. But what I do still need to do is draw some whiskers, add some sparkle that I like, and he's just about done. I did get scared there for a minute that I'd ruined it, but yeah, I think that there's just something wrong with this paper or this page, and it is just very, very susceptible for tearing. But luckily I was able to cover up some of the, like, there's a big hole over here. You wouldn't be able to tell really, because yeah, I just glued it back down and then just painted some more over it. So that was kind of scary. This came out a lot darker than I had anticipated it being. I thought he was going to be like a light pink or something, but nope, turned out almost purple. You know what? I'm done. I'm calling it. So if you remember, I was supposed to start with these. I didn't use the other two. Those ones I didn't use. So I used these in a combination of some other Japanese watercolors. Made a hot mess. And I ended up with this. And I'm calling us done. I am ready to move on to other things. So all that I need to do now is scan this in and then do, I guess, a lot of photo editing to make it look pretty for the Instagram. Look at all the colored pencils that I used. But that's all. Happy Watercolor Month. That's my contribution. Thank you, whoever made it this far. Appreciate it. Hope you learned something, or maybe not. But anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.